Did I hit record? Okay. Sorry, distracted with all the people trying to join. Okay, so good evening. We just played a song, The God of Possibilities. And I just love that thought because a mantra that I had for years as I was growing my business, I even had it up on my wall, was it is possible. I don't know if some of you remember Les Brown at our conventions back in the day sharing that. It is possible. And we know with God, all things are possible. So I just love that whole concept. I wanted to start out with that tonight. Some of you may have noticed that our call, our Zoom name has changed. It used to be Dreaming Big, which was great. It served its purpose. And now we're moving on to Fire and Grit. You guys have a dream, and we are going to light some fires and encourage you guys to have that grit that it takes to stick with the fire, keep that fire from going out. And kind of as a combo of Bridget's team teaming up with ours to just do these weekly, because we were doing them at like ours at 7 and hers at 8 or whatever. And we're like, let's just do it together. There's so much power in teaming up always. Plus, there's just something about hearing the different things from different leaders, and we can we're trying to utilize a lot of you guys, bring you guys in to help us with this. And my choice of name was Fire and hers was Grit. So we're like, that goes together well. So thank you guys for being on. We have something special for you tonight, and that is a health testimony. That is one thing we decided to commit to just bringing back more regular, because why do we do this? Why are we excited about sharing? Because we know we have products that work. And I was so excited when Larissa said that she would share her story tonight. It's a powerful one. I don't know if we've ever, or at least not for a long time, shared it on video. Larissa, have you ever shared this on our Zoom before? Okay, I didn't think so. I'm excited to hear from you. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and share your story.
Okay, so in 2018 is kind of when my health started. I noticed it was really bad. I had just had my 4th, and she was born with Down syndrome. So we had a year of kind of getting her health stuff worked out. So in 2019, I was like, okay, I'm going to take care of myself. So I went to the doctor, and I had like severe acid reflux. And so they put me on like all the acid reflux meds. And well, actually first it started off with the sinus meds, and we tried that. And then the ENT did like the little scope thing that they stuck down in my stomach. And like they wanted it in the single digits, and mine was like 30s. It was extremely high. And so they put me on the highest anti-acid meds, and like I was on all this stuff. Well, then in January of 21, I had a surgery where they tied my stomach around it to keep the acid from coming up. And like, because I had done the gluten-free, I did the acid-free, it's like, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. And I'm like, this, okay, I'm not eating that. But even like lettuce was I was in severe pain. And so I did the surgery, and they monitored me for a year, and I went back, and they're like, oh, well, it just takes time. Well, after a year, I'm like, okay, it's been a year. I still can't eat anything. I'm still in all this pain. And they went down and looked in there, and she goes, I don't know what your problem is. She's like, there's everything looks fine. This is in your head. This is just, what you're going to have to deal with now. And so I'm like, I don't accept that. And about that time, on my Facebook page, one of the gut health and happiness testimonies came through, and it was a mama of 4 who had severe stomach problems. And I'm like, oh, this is that like gut health stuff she was talking about. And so I called Lisa and I'm like, okay, I'm in. I have no place else to go. Help me. And so she got me started, and I think I did the pink drink and the active and the ease, and I felt really good. Yeah. I started because she's like energy, because she said energy. I was like, ooh, yeah, mama 4, I want energy. You know, that like I didn't equate the two together as like, oh, it's gut health, so you know, but if you can give me energy, yeah, I want energy. And so we started with that, and I'm grateful that I did, because I did that for a couple months, and then I realized, okay, this isn't helping my gut. So then I switched to the triplex, and I had severe, like severe detox. And I was calling her, I'm like I was bloated to the point where like I couldn't even fit in my pants. My headaches were severe, and she's like, it's working, just work through it, just work through it. And so I'm like, okay. So I kept going through it, and then like about 2 weeks of that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't give up, because it's like now I can eat whatever I want. And I mean, yeah.
That is wonderful. I mean, how amazing that you stuck with it. Do you know how many people don't do that? And then they miss the wonderful results. So kudos to you. And you guys didn't mention that Larissa is senior silver. She has been doing really good at sharing. Also, I love her Facebook posts. She's just one of those people that she's just very, very genuine and authentic whenever she shares about plexus. So we are not surprised that she has helped people already. Thank you for sharing that. That was a treat. You did a great job too.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're going to move on. We're doing good with time here. That's always something that's fun to be able to say. What we have next is a little product focus. So I just picked on somebody and I said, you can share whatever product you want. I didn't really have a theme this evening, but what product do you especially like that you want to talk about? And Lenora decided to share about the MetaBurn, which I'm excited about because she's excited about it. So take it away, girl.
Thank you so much. I love when you guys ask to share. It's so fun. Um, so MetaBurn was something that I originally started using as an add-on to my triplex because I was looking to support my metabolism, and it was during the time that I was really actively trying to lose weight. And honestly, I love how I feel on it. I have noticed I feel like Wonder Woman. Seriously, when I take MetaBurn, I am more energetic, I am happier, and I am more focused. Like I mom and I wife better because of those things. There's been about 2 or 3 times since this product came out that I've stopped taking it for a month or 2 and I tried something else, but then I miss how I felt. And I started noticing, I did it again when everybody's been talking about balance and the slim hunger control thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to try that. That sounds amazing. Well, I missed MetaBurn. I was like, wow, I'm really stressed out again. What the heck? So, and I do take Vital Biome, guys. Anxiety is just a huge piece of my past. So here's the details on it. So one thing I learned, which I didn't know until yesterday when I really started researching this, is did you know that your metabolism actually starts to slow down by 10% every decade after you hit age 20? That's huge. No wonder everybody says when you hit 40 and 50, your metabolism comes to a halt. I was like, no, that's not cool. So the next thing I saw is so stress, cortisol, it plays a huge role in your weight, which, I mean, you know, if you watch TV after like 8 o'clock at night, because that's when all the commercials come on telling you about all the things. And this is what I learned though about cortisol. Okay, so yeah, it's related to belly fat, but it's also related to suppressing our immune response. Cortisol suppresses our digestive system, our reproductive system, our growth processes, and it affects our mood and our motivation. That's huge. That is huge. So some things that I learned when I was looking at MetaBurn is that it's kind of divided into two categories. It's got the stress management side with decreasing cortisol levels, and then it's got the fat burning side of it. So the stress management side, I'm going to start with that. So what I learned is that in order to decrease your cortisol levels, Plexus put in natural ingredients, and I'm going to really probably butcher these, but I practiced, I promise. L-acetyl L-tyrosine, rhodiola, 5-HTP, and L-theanine. If you say them slower, you have a better chance of getting them right. So those ingredients, they actually work to decrease our cortisol levels and increase our mood and motivation. And then the fat burning side of this, guys. So MetaBurn, so it burns our white fat, but it also burns our brown fat, which is responsible for getting rid of our fat loss. And so I looked that up. I was really curious the difference between brown fat and white fat. So too much white fat is what leads to obesity. It's bigger when you look at it in a microscope. Brown fat is actually smaller than white fat, and it's usually it stores energy and it burns fat. It stores energy and burns that energy to regulate your body temperature. So, which is really cool because MetaBurn is also a thermogenic, and thermogenics increase your energy expenditure through metabolic stimulation to help burn fat. So that's kind of neat how that all works together. So the fat burning ingredients that they listed were grains of paradise, forskolin, guarana. There we go. And those ingredients are actually responsible for the fat burning side. So the main benefits of MetaBurn is to decrease your cortisol, increase your fat burning, and you'll see changes in your body shape because it really focuses on the fat that's in your belly, your hips, and your thigh area, which I love because women lose weight in their boobs. And that's not where we want to lose our weight. So that's pretty cool. It also, they say, make sure you're paying attention to how your clothes are fitting and take measurements when you use this product, because you're not going to see changes on the scale very fast, but you're going to see changes in your shape faster. So I really like that because I am somebody who used to be really addicted to the scale. So this is something I have to let people know about. So yeah, boosts your mood, boosts your energy, and gives you sharper focus. Each capsule of MetaBurn has 80 milligrams of naturally sourced caffeine. And they say to take 2 capsules a day because each capsule it kind of works for about 4 to 6 hours. So you wouldn't want to take it too late in the day, or if you're sensitive to caffeine, because it could, have trouble falling asleep that night. So yeah, 4 to 6 hours later is when you take the second capsule. And I was curious how this product differs from Active and Edge. So Edge, Edge is created for just focus and sharper thinking. So if you're somebody who struggles with paying attention and, focus, students, things like that, they do great on Edge. Also people who have like diagnosed focus problems. And then Active obviously is a drink, but that's created to be an energy drink, like just that. So it's not supporting the metabolism as much. Precautions, I like to tell people, make sure you're not, breastfeeding or pregnant using this product. I also like to tell people that if they're on an SSRI, something that's already increasing serotonin, to just be mindful and maybe talk to a pharmacist before introducing this, because the 5-HTP in MetaBurn also increases serotonin, and you don't want to have too much of that in your body. That's not a good thing. But another thing about this is because it actually has thyroid benefits. So because it's supporting your thyroid, if you're on thyroid medication, just to be mindful, because you may have to get checked and you may eventually be able to decrease your thyroid medication by using something like this. So I thought that's pretty neat. So I think that's it. That's all I have to share on that product.
Well, that is really cool. Just reminds me how Plexus always comes up with smart products, like a formula that makes sense and works in a way that works with your body and in the healing process and the getting better process that we do with all the other products. So thank you for sharing that. I think one thing we also find with all of our products, especially some of these kind of side or support products outside of the triplex and that, is that it's different for everyone in how we're going to respond to these. And like you said, you can just tell that difference when you don't take it. And I honestly have done that same thing, like try to take it for a while to see if it just makes that difference in my mood at all. And I have experimented with it on and off, and it doesn't make that much difference for me. So it's just that we're all different that way. And I love that we have those options and we get educated so we kind of know. I mean, I love hearing things like this because I'm like, sure, I'll try it. You know, we can always give something a try. Someone asked a question in the chat about taking the MetaBurn and how they get the burning, kind of almost like an acid reflux feeling. And that is a good question because it's from all the heavy spices, or strong, I should say, sort of strong spices that are in it. Simply take it with food. I'm not sensitive to that type of thing really quickly. So I usually could take it with my Slim, just down it, like make sure I just wash it down with something. And didn't have to eat right away, but some people find it better with chasing it down with some food. So hopefully that helps. Okay, I'm excited to move to the next part. I am going to do just a smidge little training for you guys. Bridget's gonna help me out with that, or end it with her amazing thoughts. But I was just thinking, what is something that I could share with you guys kind of this time of year as we're beginning hopefully a lot of you after Super Saturday have a fresh focus for 2024. And what are some key ingredients that you need this year more than ever before to build your business? And I thought of two things. And I'm like, oh, they both are E's. Well, I need to think of a third E that would go with it really well. And here's my 3 E words for you tonight. First of all, energy. Second, enthusiasm. And third, endurance. Now, when I say energy, it might not be what you think. I don't mean the energy that active gives. I don't mean you have to show up like this all the time and just be an enthusiastic person if that's not really you. We want you to be authentic. But here's the thing. Your energy, everyone has an energy. What do we think of when we know about energy and electricity? It's positive or it's negative. Same with your energy, the spirit, the aura, the mood you put off is an energy every time you're speaking to someone about plexus. That's what we're going to focus on. There's all kinds of areas we could go in this, but when you're sharing plexus with someone, what is your energy like? Is it negative or is it positive? Well, some other words we think about with energy: friction or conductive. Friction to me in sharing with somebody would be like, too much information, making it difficult, not a clear message. Like conductive would be a clear message. The other thing I think of with friction in just growing your business would be just drama. Like you have to always make things into something that wouldn't have to be, and then go off about it to your husband or something. Guilty. Or you can always have that servant heart to be serving others. And that drama kind of goes away when you're thinking of others more than yourself. So those are some thoughts I had about energy. The third one is energy can be magnetic or it can be weak. And when I looked up some of the definitions of those words, I'm like, whoa, okay. Our energy can either be magnetic or it can be weak. And another word that came up for that was just unappealing. We often talk about attraction marketing. That's what's magnetic. Or it can just be people look at it and go, meh, because you're being meh. That's what I think of when I think of weak. Just nothing there to draw anyone. So those are what I think about when I think about your energy. Enthusiasm is our second one. By the way, my name means enthusiasm. Two meanings that I've come across is enthusiasm and fire. Those are my name meanings, and I've tried to live up to them. So here's the thing with enthusiasm. Again, it doesn't have to be a high energy, 100% full bore, all out, crazy passion. That's not what it has to be. It can just be an excitement for what you're doing. just joy, a smile, a little pep in your talk. Do you ever re-listen to your voice messages on Facebook Messenger? And you're like, I could have been a little bit more of a smile or peppy in there. Come on, let's remember that. We can practice it because we can get better at anything. And then just simply an enjoyment of what you do. That's all I mean by enthusiasm. You enjoy what you do, and that comes across. If you're not enjoying it, that's, again, part of that energy. Another couple other words I found that were really cool about enthusiasm were devotion and warmth. If you feel that someone is dedicated to something, there's just a warmth about them, that can be enthusiasm. And then, the obvious would be like fervor, passion, and zeal. But I like to think about devotion and warmth. And really, it should just be a part of you, because you are blessed with plexus, to whom much is given, much is required. So let's think of it that way, that you have such a gift to offer that it is a joy. There's aspects of it that are not fun, and there's aspects of it that are hard. We're going to get into that next, but it should still be something you enjoy. Just like a lot of other things in your life, raising kiddos, doing the laundry, there's things about it that just takes endurance. You don't always have the joy, but you usually try to find the joy, right? You want to enjoy your life, and so you're going to seek it out. Same with your business. Find ways to bring that enthusiasm into your business. Okay, so endurance, of course, I think of grit. How perfect is that word for enduring, or perseverance, patience. Patience is a word I came across for endurance. That's all it is. Just being patient with the process. Lasting in spite of adversity. That's what I want to talk about a little bit, because there's one thing about opposite of endurance is just like lazy, lethargic, weak, indifference, just some sort of that, like I talked about before, the meh. But then that's a part of, like, that's opposite of endurance in more of a what word am I trying to think of? Just more of a apathetic way, just like I could care less. But what about the adversity when that comes? And then that's more of an beyond just being indifference. If you choose to let that affect you and you just go back even more and you become, like, that bad word, a quitter, or tempted to quit. But the endurance, the lasting through adversity, is, I think, what is the true definition of grit and the true definition of success for us in our business. We will have adversity. That is inevitable. We've all experienced that. Some maybe different types that seem heavier than others, but we've definitely all had it. And when we can keep on keeping on in spite of that, lasting, just continuing on in spite of that, that is what true endurance is. And one other thing I think of when I think of endurance is just a sense of boldness. Because if you don't have a willingness to put yourself out there with some courage and boldness, I don't think that endurance can become quite as strong. When you think of endurance, you think of lasting and like lasting to the end, and you have to have courage to do that. So that's another word I wanted to throw in there. So there's a lot of words for you guys tonight, because I had so much fun digging into these 3 E's, but I hope that encourages you, and maybe you can take one of those and go, that's what I want to work on in 2024. Okay, BK, some ideas for grit.
Well, as you were sharing about endurance, of course, and I know that there are others that your mind went here, but I went to the book of Hebrews chapter 12.
Love it.
I'm just going to bring it up, you guys. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. And you might be like, what does this have to do with my business? God cares about every single aspect of our lives, you guys. I want to encourage us just tonight to stop and pray over those 3 E's. Grab the hand of your spouse or go lock yourself in your bedroom for a bit and take a moment with the Lord, surrendering your business all over again and asking him for strength to run the race. You know, and it isn't always running all out like this until you're sprawled out, exhausted, and unable to show up the next day. It is sometimes crawling and doing those little steps forward, not quitting. Okay. I'm gonna add a fourth E, and it was kind of a joke. I don't know if Brenda caught this in my chat with her and Charlotte earlier, but I was like, I have a fourth E, and it's eek, EEK. It's like get on. You're on kind of a little bit of a ride. You know, we went to Disneyland a couple of months ago with our kids, and I got on the front of the Matterhorn, the very front of the whole train. And I was scared out of my mind. It actually really freaked me out. But you guys, enjoy the process. It really is a choice to believe that you will get through this next hump. There are some speed bumps with this journey. And so with that comes the grit. Okay. Also, you guys need one another. Reach out for prayer from one another. Grab a sideline. I know Christy Baldiv, I think she told me today, Christy Collier, sorry, I'm calling you by your maiden name. She just got married. Congratulations, Christy. You can see her down there with her darling braid. You guys, she's looking for somebody to run with. She's an incredible gold on our team. So message her if you want to run. I am going to also end with this. We are in Magic Week. When I look back in my downline and on our team, and Brenda, maybe you feel the same way, the stuff that happens the last days of the month, the last 7 days, last 5 days, last 2 days, I'm always like, how are you guys doing this? What are you doing? This is incredible. Do not stop now. That means going back and looking at the goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the month. Or did you not set goals at the beginning of the month? Tell me your goals in the comments right now, you guys. If you have already gone silver for the month, I want you to aim to get 6 people this month, 6 new VIPs. If you haven't gone silver this month, I want you to aim for silver. Go for 3. You might want to go for the 6. You guys, if you are not posting every day or you're not in stories every day, what if you just stopped and said, I'm going to commit for the rest of the month to be in stories, and I'm going to post every day. I'm going to trust the process. I am going to send out 5 messages every single day. You guys might be shocked to see what happens by the end of the month. Remember, whatever you do right now is going to bear fruit. It is a matter of time and your consistency. Okay. Brenda, I love what you shared. That was just so beautiful. You know what stood out to me? That devotion and warmth that I know you all have. That is why we are drawn to all of you so much in friendship and in business. Hope you guys all have a great night. That was great training. Lenora, I'm pulling out my MetaBurn again. I do this one with a banana. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, yeah, it's totally Superwoman. Completely.
Yes. And thank you for the reminder that we are in Magic Week, because we know you guys can do it. You've done it before. You can do it again. We believe in you, and we thank you for being on.
Yes,
Good night,
please go to
everyone.
your team chats too and tell everybody what you are aiming to do this last, how many more days do we have? Tell me somebody. We're on the 23rd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9.5 days, baby. Let's get her done. Earn that extra $400. Tell your husband, I want to earn us an extra $400 this month, or an extra 800, whatever you're going for. Tell somebody, trust the process. Let's do it together. We're cheering for you and love you. Mwah. Thank you, Brenda.
That's exactly right. Good night, everyone.